sit rep. Matt and I are taking turns in the car warming up after we've done probably about 15-20 minutes of sanding, because it's about 23 degrees or so, and our work gloves aren't very thick. So we have 2 sanders going on the boat, and we're getting a decent amount done. It's just cold.
Get me out of here, take me up to the stars, cause I wanna be wherever you are.
What's up, world?
My, I've never seen the light. My, never even tried. Oh, give up the fear and run with me. Give up the ghost and the burned out dreams. You're the only miracle that I believe. So come and run away with me. I wrote our names on a broken bus stop. I left this town, so there you go.
It's flicking! What?
Coffee spilling everywhere.
Oh my god. You were the bus.
I'm wearing a pea coat and sweatpants.
Yeah, I don't know why you're doing that. Is
Because
it laundry day?
my other one's covered with like copper dust from the anti-fouling paint. So this is kind of what we're doing.
It's laundry day, apparently.
Yeah, it's laundry day, but to do my laundry costs $10.
That's awful.
Yeah, so it's like, and not just $10. Like I can't use a credit card or a debit card. It's freaking quarters.
Freaking?
I either need less clothes or more quarters, and I'm kind of leaning on the less clothes. Lights. We have power. We have lights. About a couple months ago, I filled up the bilge here with antifreeze. And I did that because originally the boat wasn't covered and I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to cover it. Now the boat is covered, so it's going to be really hard for water to get in the bilge, and we don't need the antifreeze in there. And since it is a chemical and it's probably so-so for the fiberglass, I want to take it out. So that's what we're going to do today. We have 2 5-gallon fuel cans that we're going to take the antifreeze out with, which Matt is working on right now. And we've got a shop vac which we're going to use to suck out the bilge. So we're going to get started.
Sometimes you need to be alone. It don't matter now. Shut the door, unplug the phone. It don't matter now. Speaking a language they don't know. It don't matter. Well, I don't think about that stuff. No, I don't think about that stuff. It don't matter now. Castle out to sand.
Alright, while Matt's doing that, I'll show you what I did while he was getting the paper towels. One of the big problems when you store, or big challenges when you store a boat over the winter, is it gets humid. I mean, you can see we're wrapped in this blue shrink wrap, and it really can become like a greenhouse, especially when it gets warm, and that creates like a perfect environment for mold to grow. So what we do is, besides having to clean it up in the spring, we can do some preventative work. And one of the biggest things you can do for preventative work is actually get some like chemical dehumidifier. I thought I'd show you just where I put these dehumidifiers and why. So the first one I put right in here because I know for a fact from cleaning up the boat last season from the previous owner that this is a huge area for attracting mildew. And when you hear mildew in a boat, really, that means black mold. And so we don't want any of that. And so I put one right here. You can see it's just a chemical dehumidifier. I haven't used this kind yet, but it looks promising. And you can also see that I've propped open this area so that we get a little bit of ventilation to the to underneath this settee here. Moving forward into the V-berth, this is an area that always requires a lot of cleaning, or certainly did last year. Right around the holding tank, right underneath the forward berth, I actually put 2 of these dehumidifiers. So we have one, you can see kind of right here, just the outline, and it's at the very bottom, right at the bottom of the holding tank. This area collects a lot of moisture during the winter and during the regular season. I clean it out about every 2 weeks or so completely. And then the other one is right here, and this is right through one of the through-hole valves, and this valve actually goes through the bottom of the boat. And if we were in the ocean, this is where we could pump out some of our sewage when we're miles and miles away from shore. But this is right here, the other dehumidifier. And then we have one more dehumidifier in the boat, which is strategically placed in the head. All right, so this is the last dehumidifier, and it's just placed right on the floor in the lowest part of the boat in the head. Hopefully this will kind of save this area a little bit. And okay.
Tomorrow, I won't be back. I won't be back. I won't be back.
When I was a kid growing up, I mean really, really young, like small, hip level on most people, I lived on this really small street in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and everyone on that street was about the same age, and it was this like weird serendipitous moment that happened. I had a lot of little friends, and my parents had a bunch of neighbors who were really good friends, and I'm still in contact with a lot of them. And I'll never forget how that neighborhood acted and how it worked together. It seemed like every weekend everyone was over at each other's houses, and the grown-ups were having beer and grilling out, and the kids were all fighting and beating the crap out of each other with wooden swords, you know, and then inevitably someone would get hurt. And it was just this really wonderful time. And what I remember more about that than the actual memories, the specific memories, was the feeling I had of being in that community of people and that group of people, and being very content and feeling like that this was what life was about. And I think we all tend to grow up from that, and we get told all these other things that's like that your career has to be your life, you got to find your passion, you got to make that into your career. And I mean, there's a lot of pressure to do that, and that comes with a whole host of other issues and challenges. I think it leaves a lot of people in a state of insecurity and overwhelm. But I guess the point of telling that story is that at some point we grow up and we think that we have to make other things our priority. And I guess what I'm trying to show you with all of this is that there are alternatives, and you can be one of them.
Hey, pretty smile.